gotta get out of here. I think I'm gonna lose it.
Uh-oh. Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
You get your kick saying something like that, man.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the is that?
Ramble about the games we play, fighting virtual battles of the break of day. ABF and friends breaking chains and lock, discussing puzzle wars, we're off the clock. Off the hip we fire, talking truth to wire tires. Games and wars we won't conspire, off the hip we light the fire. Joystick warriors fighting left and right, pixels clashing like a neon light. Won't miss in the code trying to find, taking a stand for the uncaged mind. Off the hip we fire, talking truth till wires tires. Games and wars we won't conspire, off the hip we light the pyre. In the virtual trenches standing tall, pixel blocks rise just to fall. Culture clash and break the wall, podcast echoes free of stall. Controllers clutch, knuckles white, ABF and friends in the late night fight. Virtual realms where freedom's tight, battling walls, feel it all on light. Off the hip we fire, talking truth till wires tires. Games and wars we won't conspire, off the hip we light the pyre.
Welcome to
Yeah.
Off the Hip, episode 16. Yeah, that intro is fire.
Oh yeah, kills
Nerd Slap
everything.
made a whole new one again.
Nerd
But-
slaps.
Yeah, so Nerd Slap couldn't be here today. He has some family over, but he might be able to join us late. And gay. Probably gay.
Yeah, he said he didn't want to expose us to his righty family, so
But we got a pretty cool show ahead of us. We're talking about the global markets melting down thanks to Japan lending out some money and what that means to the gaming markets. But finally, we have him back again. Big Dog Jake, how are you doing?
Well, ABF, I'm doing pretty okay. I had a little bit of a personal argument with someone earlier today. That kind of put me down. But finally got my new hot water heater installed. And so I was able to finally take a nice fresh shower with hot water today. Thank goodness. So still feeling pretty good. Been busy working on planning the wedding with my fiance, Anna. I love you. But other than that, just been around, just been very busy, but it's good to finally be back for real, not just having to keep missing dates. Always love being here. Really enjoy the show. Always love being on. Appreciate you having me.
Nice. Now, I have a plumber friend that always says he makes fun of people that calls it a hot water heater because it doesn't heat up hot water. It heats up water.
it's a boiler. Yeah,
Water heater. Well, technically, because we use liquefied natural gas for the heat, that would be the boiler also. We have whatever.
All right.
Just I'm pipe fitter, not a plumber. So those are also two different things. I had to do pipe fitting, not plumbing.
Well,
I get
speaking
my
of
cash
laying,
from an ATM machine.
speaking of
I don't say
laying
that.
pipe,
And I'm also not like someone I used to know who used to say, I'm going to go tap Mac. Just like, just say you're going to get cash out of the ATM. Okay. Tap Mac. Don't try and make it cool. You're just sticking a card into a little brick inlet and money comes out. Whatever.
well, speaking of ass to mouth and laying pipe, Multi, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah. Jake, good to see you again. You finally got off your knees. So, how's everybody doing today?
Worse now.
Oh, loving good, loving good.
Yep, I'm here. I'm the resident normie, so I give normie takes while everyone else just talks circles around me. But it's always fun to be here.
Well, you know, you can recognize when things are wrong. So
That's right. A show like this always needs somebody to represent the chat, and that's who you are. Mo.
But Isaac's in the chat.
Yeah, but Isaac, you know what? We're going to get into it later. I'm not going to say anything right now.
I was going to say Liberace passed away a long time ago. There's nobody that can represent Isaac as well as that man did.
Still think my favorite line in the first Austin Powers was, "I didn't know Liberace was gay." Yeah. Anyway.
Mo, how are you doing?
Doing well. I went chest deep into the nerdy waters today. It's been great. I ordered a mining card off of eBay because I needed a transcoder for my my Jellyfin server, because open source for life. Let's go. Put it in there. It works. It's awesome. Spent $30 on something that has as much computing power as a 1080 Ti. And I've been messing with my PS Vita today. So I am all about that nerd life today. For whatever reason, it just hit me. So let's fucking go.
Right on.
I'm in the mindset.
Norman, how are things across the pond?
Oh, just dandy. Peaceful, loving flowers, all that kind of stuff,
Nice.
all that jazz,
Everyone's happy?
Yeah, it's not like there's a two-tier police system going on right now, but anyway.
Interesting.
Me personally,
Why
I've
you
kind of
bring
been...
that up.
No idea. But me personally, I've kind of been in a Deadpool kick for the past couple of weeks, of course. Watched the movie, and then I went into town and bought the original on 4K, watched that, then dug the game out of my storage, wherever it is now, bashed through that for the whole weekend. It was a good time, hacking and slashing and slicing and dicing and chicken fried rice.
Right on.
I've heard that's a good game, or like just a good 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, like just a popcorn game, like just a fun game.
It's a
It
superhero
doesn't
game.
try to outkick its cover. It just is good. I've been wanting to play it. I see the one where he tries to wake up Wolverine, and I thought that was hilarious. Yeah, that's really funny.
And those games are the era that I miss. I miss combos in games, like free flow combat, Arkham System, Spider-Man, all very good. But I miss Type in 3, and then he does some mad trick, and then takes the guy out.
I was going to say something else, Casey, but yeah.
But you didn't.
Yeah, unlike that pole vaulter,
Hold
I don't
it,
want to go
hold
balls
it.
deep. So.
Oof. Well, I wanted to start the stream off with something happy. Let's see.
Something good.
So the Mass Effect Legendary Edition is on sale for $9 on Steam.
Ooh.
Yeah, which I need to pick up.
I'm getting it after the stream.
I have never played the Mass Effect series.
What
So
the
this might-
hell?
May I? For like 30
Sorry,
seconds?
I'm an esports man, dude. I'm a competitive gamer. I'm there to win. So I need to play it though. I've been wanting to. It looks great.
There was multiplayer in the Mass Effect games.
Oh my gosh. Nerdy
Effect
Neo's
3.
in the chat. So if you're going to talk about Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, he's going to go off. But
well, all right. You know what? I was broke when those games came out. All right, I could barely afford to pay attention. So
Oh, they
And
were
now-
always
still
in the
going on.
resale bin at GameStop. Sorry. All right, Jake. Go ahead, rant at him.
And see, there he goes. There he goes.
are you
Oh, look,
regretting
if you guys want, if you
having me
want to play
scheduled for this Saturday,
multiplayer,
Nerdy Neo? I bet you are. That's okay. I
There's
don't
no
blame
multiplayer in the Legendary Edition, sadly. But again, if you want to play Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, talk to Neo. He'll let you know what to do. But
The greatest thing about-
$9 for 3 quite good games. If you've never played Mass Effect, or you haven't played the Legendary Edition, or you haven't played in a couple of years.
I'm curious. Does it say
Genuinely.
why there's a special promotion, or is it just special promotion?
It's just
I
a
want to
weekly special
say
promotion.
And Nerdy Neil might know the answer to this. I want to say that the multiplayer is not part of this Legendary Edition.
There is no multiplayer part of the Legendary Edition.
Because
But
the thing that interests me is the offer ends August 19th, day before games come, where EA are going to be at.
Do you think
so?
I've been 7 event.
So can you scroll down the store page a little more? I want to see if it's Steam Deck. Oh, it's playable. Nice.
It is. Well, they recommend you play with the controller anyway. You can play with a mouse and keyboard, and that's totally fine. In fact, if you're on PC and you prefer mouse and keyboard, I would, but I play with the controller anyway because that's what I'm used to. But if you haven't played it, play it. I literally do a playthrough every year. It's the best sci-fi epic there is, and for $9,
I heard 3 kind of went
can't beat it.
like it kind of
Yes, but there's a lot of mods on PC.
Anticlimactic, but 2 is by far, in my opinion, the best of them. But
that's what everybody says. Yeah.
Did they not go back and change the ending of 3, or like they added like a DLC that made it more acceptable or something like that?
They added a free DLC in the beginning of 2013 after the game came out, but it didn't change much.
Right.
But personally, I've literally never beaten Mass Effect 3 without mods. I bought it on release day when it came out, never ended up playing it. Was going to play it when lockdown hit. Then they announced Legendary Edition, and I was like, I think I'm going to wait for that. And then I bought it when it came out, and I finally played through it. And I played through it like 6 times since then. I literally just started a new playthrough earlier today.
Yeah, this is where I'm at with Nerdy Neo. Like, the game is very, very good. It's just like it's got kind of a bad ending. It's not what you wanted.
Hit me up. I will help you mod the ending.
Yeah.
If you're gonna play it on PC, which you should, you can mod the absolute crap out of it.
I've never tried that.
Yeah, Nerdy Neo. I understand what everybody's saying. Like, why didn't you play Mass Effect? Well, you know what? You get to live vicariously through me. If I get on Kick and I play the game, just coming in, don't know how the story ends or anything like that, you get to see my response 15 years after the fact. So I'm just saying, if it's worth it and everybody's backing it up that much, I've heard great things about it, but if it stood the test of time, I'll stream it and we'll just see what, you get to see my response fresh.
Don't go past to Andromeda. Stop.
Yeah, don't bother with Andromeda.
Don't do it.
But I will say one more thing, Mo. When it came out, like I said, bought it day one, didn't end up playing it till over 8 years later, and then when I was about to, when lockdown hit, like I said, Legendary came out, and was announced, and then when Legendary Edition came out, bought it, then started playing it for the first time. I never watched a trailer, never watched any gameplay, and for that entire 9-ish years, looked at nothing that had Mass Effect 3 in it. For 9 years,
my brother-in-law
practically lives on the internet, I did not spoil myself at all on Mass Effect 3. And
I haven't spoiled it on anything. I have no idea what the story's about or anything. Like, I'm coming in completely raw. Like,
it's a great
really
story.
Going to enjoy it in that case.
I just couldn't afford it. I bargain bin stuff was too expensive for me. I was literally like, we were living paycheck to paycheck. Like,
Bro,
it was.
I hear you.
It's only $9 now. What's your excuse now?
I'm streaming with a bunch of figs, but once I get off, I'll buy it. So because
gotcha.
I want to go. I like a good story. I really do. I love the Grand Theft Auto 3D games. They're so freaking good. They're so funny. They're deep. They're like they really have a good connective tissue underneath the story. So if this has that kind of like that quality, then I'm all about it. And
absolutely.
Definitely from everybody that talks about it, it's an evergreen game, and like it'll always be one of the best. So
and the modding community is still quite active.
You know what? Cajun Corey, I would say that to my face, but if you said it to my face, I wouldn't understand you. But we'll move along. So.
Well, speaking of train wrecks, I found this meme, and it explains the situation in Japan.
Interesting.
And Jesse and the Heisenberg help us understand what's happening. I'll play Jesse. Who wants to play the Heisenberg?
I think Jake should do it. He's got a deeper, more Sarcastic voice.
Yeah, I have to try more.
right.
Japanese markets crashed 20%, past 2 days because yen carry trade is unwinding and NASDAQ is now in correction territory. Bitch. I have to talk like him. He always says bitch. And then...
Huh?
So Japan typically keeps interest rates low so people borrow yen and make investments in higher yielding currencies like USD, bitch, and euro, which have been raising rates. The trade pushed down the yen, which increased Japanese export sales and boosted local company stocks. But Bank of Japan, I thought it was the Bank of Japan, raised rates and U.S. Fed will cut. So the trade is unwinding, or it might be the weak U.S. jobs report, and we're headed for a recession. I don't know, bitch.
Jesse, what the fuck are you talking about?
So
this meme has entered into lefty territory, by the way. That was very wordy.
Very wallet.
Oh yeah.
it was bad. That's why that was the joke. Is you still don't understand what it is. Vagabundo sent me this the other night. This actually perfectly explains it.
A carcass.
And the reason why we're talking about this is because the Japanese market is tanking every market in the world right now, and it's going to cause everything to tighten up, as we've seen in our own stock market today.
Mm-hmm. And I'm
So basically, what happened is traders were borrowing yen, Japanese currency, at low interest rates, and then they convert them to US dollars, and they then use it to buy stocks. Point two, now the Bank of Japan is raising their interest rates. The Japanese currency is strengthening against the US dollar. And now all the traders basically have to pay that back. Let's see here. Not only must they pay higher interest rates for the yen that they borrowed, they're now facing huge Forex losses as well. Forex is when you trade one currency for the other.
Exchange.
Mm-hmm.
USD assets have been are the US assets that they are holding may not be enough to repay what they actually borrowed. So that's why they're liquidating stocks to try to come up with the money. It's very complicated, and it just boils down to people are just getting rid of everything to pay off debt now.
It basically boils down to they tried to game the system by using
Yes.
the exchange rate and playing with the value of $1 across the world. And it blew up in their faces, and now they're out a whole lot of money.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Yep,
And their
you
assets
cannot-
won't even cover it.
And to add one more level of complexity on top of all these points, they have to convert their yen into US dollars again to pay for their energy because they don't have nuclear energy anymore. Everything is powered by gasoline from the petrodollar. So they're really in a bad spot.
It's all coming tumbling down.
Mm-hmm.
You know what it is, and I know some people will have their opinions on Thor Ragnarok, the movie, but it's like you can stave off something for as long as you want, but it still needs to happen. You cannot stop the market from failing. You, as a matter of fact, by you continuing to artificially hold it up, like a lot of countries have, it's going to fail. Yeah, it's time immemorial. You can look at the graph. You can keep blowing air into that bubble, but it is going to pop. And how big the explosion is depends on how willing you are to get out, to deal with what it comes next. Putting more air into the bubble doesn't help anybody, and that's exactly what the world has been doing the last few years. So, good. I'm glad the market's about ready to shit the bed. It needs to. We need to cull the herd. I'm sick and tired of these people, living off the government dole, and not to go into politics, but it just needs. This needs to happen. The healing needs to happen. This wound has been open for years upon years, and it just needs to be healed. So
And then when you look at it on the other side as well, all these companies, they're not marketing to the customer anymore. They're telling half their customer base to fuck off, or, if you do this, vote this certain way, you believe this, don't buy our product, whatever else, or marketing to a 1.1% of a 5%,
Good. Afuera. Get out of here.
Off you go.
Don't give a shit
Fuera.
anymore.
They're starting to very, very slowly realize that, with all these
So-
downsizing.
I was following this since Friday because the Japanese basically the SPY, their version of it, went down 5% in one day, which is huge. And they were saying that it was going to go down even more, and it did.
Right.
And we
It's
we
kind
were
of
able
like
to
last week was the smoke, here's the fire.
Yeah, we were able to see that. And what's crazy though is that before all that, there were some other companies already having issues before this even started. We'll talk about that in a bit. But
if I may, there's even some big investors that are selling off their portfolios. Like a news article came out today.
oh, dude,
talked
they
about how
perfectly timed it.
Warren Buffett
hmm
sold off so many assets that he currently has $277 billion in cash liquid because of the amount of his portfolio that he sold off right before this happened.
Yep.
And so
Which
shit
is
said his man.
insane.
He's getting out of
That's
Dodge.
right. Get the fuck out of here. That's what that means. Yeah.
So here's a little bit of the fallout that just broke about half an hour ago. Dell's going to lay off 12,500 employees.
Which
Not surprising.
that's a massive amount of people. I'm honestly surprised that it's only 10%. I thought Dell was a lot smaller than that. I didn't know Dell was still that massive.
Dell
That
is
is a
huge.
ridiculous
Well-
amount of people.
Think about the amount of business computers that are Dell's. Like
Mhm.
Dell
That is true.
Inspirons. Yeah,
Oh, of course.
it's always the stuff that you always look at the stuff that you buy off the shelf. It's like, no, the contracts they have with the government, with tons of businesses, large businesses, it's insane. Like almost all of it's Dell. HP has a very small portion of that. Dell has like the market cornered. So yeah,
And they all use the same chips. There are a couple of Dell campuses, that's what they call them around here, and they are giant, like almost, they're basically towns.
What do you mean
And
by
it's just
that?
all
Dell
just
campus?
like campus, like think of a college campus, like a university campus, but it's all like CEOs and executives and people who work for Dell. And it just takes up like a square mile
I see.
from its epicenter.
I see. Okay.
And there's a couple of them just in a place around 45 minutes south of where I live. There's two different ones.
And it's
So,
worth
like, they are-
stating
they
that
are
this is like
massive.
it's worth stating this is like the fourth round of layoffs. So we had 13,000 last year, according to CRN, 6,000 in February 2023, and then another round in August, whose numbers the company didn't specify.
Yeah.
And they're saying from this one alone, this apparently it's a whole sales reorganization. They're trying to figure out how to make money quicker with a less amount of people. So they've reduced the workforce by about 10% worldwide, which was about 120,000 total.
My sweet goodness.
So that was part of the fallout. And then there's Ubisoft. It keeps reverting back. Sort of the 5-day. They had quite the drop, and this spike, I believe, was around some controversy of the Yasuke stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, the new Assassin's Creed.
So there's just a rule with investors that if there's any sort of controversy surrounding their stock, they will jump out.
Yep.
Which is also extra tied into Japan because Japanese people are super upset at Ubisoft for doing this. And you know, Ubisoft came out with one statement when a lot of the complaining was coming from the West. And then when the Japanese, actual Japanese people were en masse complaining, they came out with a totally different statement saying totally different things. So you can see that they're obviously trying to cater to.
I would be
get everybody
hard pressed to
calm down.
say that Shadows is going to be Assassin's Creed first flop, but I would take a punt and say that they might be lower than sales projections, and that might cause some backlash internally.
What sales figure would you consider a flop? Like under 1.5 million, under 2
Oh,
million?
it'd have to be more than that. Whatever Valhalla sold, plus a chunk of change, which was quite a lot of units.
Well,
Okay.
it's all contingent upon how much you invest in it. If you're like an indie studio, like if you're like Xenocrisis or something like that, which is one of my favorite indie games to come out recently in the last few years, Yeah. Yeah. Like if you sell 1 million, you're on cloud 9. If you sell 1 million and you're Ubisoft, you're like, all right, we're going to have to fire everybody, you know?
Yeah.
It does
So-
feel like they're gearing up for a bad year this year so they can have a good year next year.
I think a lot of companies are planning on doing that.
Yeah.
So
that's
Ubisoft
a three-year.
confirmed AC Valhalla sold more than 20 million copies as of October 2022. So that was 3 years after
That's 3
release.
years,
So maybe extrapolate that divided by 3, you know.
Wow.
It's like they're almost back to 2015 times. Good job.
Yeah. Good job.
Too bad they wouldn't actually do that with their content. They would be making money hand over fist, but you know.
Yeah. Speaking of making money hand over fist, if you bought Intel stock in 1992, you can sell it today for the exact same amount.
Oh,
That is so incredibly wild.
Oh no!
30 years, the stock price has fallen back to what it was. That is insane. I've never seen that before, unless it's been a company that's about to literally go under.
Yeah. And I don't even think that this was surrounding the Japanese stuff, except for this line right here. It was
Right.
already happening within their company.
Yeah.
They're looking down the barrel of some issues with their 13th and 14th gen processors, just failing at a high percentage, and they were telling their customers that they're wrong for a while. And,
they were denying it. They were denying it. They were saying there was customer error. There was, you weren't going to an authorized Intel, repair shop.
Remdog 1138 with a very, very good point. Did they split? That makes a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Did they ever split? Did they split?
Intel definitely did some splits since then.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and then, but that is counteracted by inflation. So you can split, but if it's the same price it was, what, 32 years ago, $20.35 would get you like dinner for 10, At 92, you can barely get a Big Mac meal.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a
and your
question
girl.
since you guys are more clued into the PC world. I mean, so you've got Dell and then you've got Intel, which is inside every Dell. How's that going to affect the PC market, you think?
Well, we're seeing AMD just probably pick up the ball at that point.
Well,
And,
here's the
uh,
thing.
So they
Oh, go
think.
Go ahead.
Well,
Go
okay,
ahead.
so I've done a fair bit of research because I'm a hardware nerd. The Zen 5 processors that are being released like next week are supposed to be able to pick up the torch for mobile devices. Right now, if you go to Best Buy and try to buy a laptop, it's like 90% Intel processors inside of them.
Yeah.
It's always going to be that way. Yeah.
The Zen 5 processors are supposed to be very, very good at mobile computing, meaning the efficiency. And those are expected to be put in every single laptop very, very soon. And I think those were investors seeing that too and jumping out.
So it could be just like a changing of the guard then.
a little bit.
But that's been the news for ever since Ryzen hit the scene, especially the second and third generation. It's always been, because I follow this stuff really close. They've always
You're
said
talking
that.
desktop. We're talking mobile.
No.
which is what most people
I'm
buy.
talking about like iGPUs and stuff, like the RDNA 2, the RDNA 3. We're at the 3.5 right now. It's the fact that you can play a AAA game at a decent rate, and but the other thing is onboard AI, like for me, for as a creative, like you can process stuff on your device. If you have something that's built onto the chip and it's not a discrete graphics card, that makes a huge difference. So, but Intel they've been sniping people off of other people's businesses. Like you've had former heads of AMD and stuff like that. They work for Intel now. Like they've done a good job of kind of like getting to that point. But the problem with Intel is they're their own worst enemy. All they need to do is hold the course. And if they can't do that, they will fail. Like AMD is so much smaller than Intel. We like to think that AMD, because there's a lot of PC gamers in here. Nagarnal, well, I hope we come back soon. Quit hating on PCs, and maybe you would. But
he slammed his desk and his Intel processor took a shit.
yeah. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like it said it. Intel is the reason that they're losing. It's not AMD. AMD does not have the clout or the muscle to do that, because anything that is business related, it is so hard to find AMD based architect, which is hilarious because they're the ones that introduced 64-bit processing. So whenever you have a 64-bit processor, Intel they have to get the patent from AMD, which is hilarious. Like it's just like it's this weird incestuous like business that they have, but somehow Intel is just beating the crap out of them. But Intel is just screwing
but
up
Intel
right
gets
now.
them back by licensing out the AVX codecs.
Yeah,
So
no, I mean
it's sort
there's
of
a bunch of crossovers, but it's just like it's they Intel
and
is
no
their
one
own
knows
worst
what we're
enemy.
talking about right now either.
No, I know, yeah, but this is hey, this is off the hip.
over.
This is nerd level stuff, but it interests me because I want to see AMD succeed. Dr. Lisa Su is one of the best CEOs in the entire country, entire world.
The reason why Intel was the leader for so long is because you turned it on and it just worked. And now that these CPUs, the 13th and 14th gen, as you can see on the screen, are failing, they're not seen as just bulletproof anymore.
Right.
So that narrative has gone out the window, and now people are willing to deal with the little bit of shit that AMD has as far as support, and switch over because they are more efficient and they're faster. And data centers are switching every single day to those because, I was reading an article
It's kind
about
of because people are used to that because the structure you're saying that's happening at AMD right now was kind of Intel 20 years ago. So people are used to that kind of mentality. If the product's good, they'll buy it.
I was reading an article and someone was saying that they run a data center, and for some reason the Minecraft servers that they have that are running on Intel fail like 50 times faster than an AMD processor. Like their processors are actually getting worn down from running Minecraft servers. Yeah. So it's a little bit anecdotal, but it kind of shows that there is some durability issues happening right now.
And I do want to talk a little bit just for a moment about the physical hardware aspect of like 14th gen Intel, and that is 14th gen is 5 nanometers, correct?
Are they to that point? I'll check it.
No,
quick.
Intel.
I know they're working on 5 nanometers, but they
Intel can't achieve the small nanometer size that TSMC is making for AMD.
Right.
So they came up with their own little standard that has numbers that represent something different but sound like they're nanometers.
Right. But
their transistors are much larger, and they're pretending like they're small.
Right. But generally speaking, we're getting to a point in microprocessors where we are reaching the limits of physics, where we can't, 5 nanometers seems like something we can do, and we can estimate that if things are built absolutely perfectly, we could probably do 3 nanometers, probably. But
we will.
Really
we'll get to
much smaller than that.
We'll get there.
We'll
get sub nano.
So small that electricity is there's not enough distance for the electricity to run.
Yeah, they're gonna have to start thinking outside the box soon.
The DNA. I hate to bring this up because it's the mark of the beast level
DNA
territory, but no, a DNA based computing. They've already proven that you can run computing through on a molecular level.
And
it was
that'll
more
have to
like
be the next thing.
Yeah. But carbon nanotube. Yep. Carbonite, I think is what it's called. It's restructured carbon, which they found on the end of a pencil, which is really weird. But the whole thing here's the reason why Intel it's blown up in their face. There's this thing in marketing called the halo effect. Mm-hmm. You have a top level product, which in computing is your gaming. It's your processor. It's your GPU. The reason that they're taking it on the nose right now is because they've been like, oh, look how great we are.
For years.
When you hitch your wagon to the wrong horse, like if that horse dies, then the halo effect can go the other direction too. It can ruin your your public image. Like the halo effect is great. If you have something like you have the with NVIDIA, it's the 4090, it's like their top tier thing. They have corporate level GPUs that would just bury that son of a bitch in like no time flat. Like it would just be like nothing to that. But the public looks at the RTX 4090 and they're like, wow, that's really awesome. It works really well. If that starts failing in mass, then it cascades. It goes right down the line, and it will affect corporate business as well.
They actually were.
Right, but like they're catching like these CPUs. These are enthusiast level CPUs. These aren't i3s that you find in your work. A work.
Well, no, this is extending across their entire product line. The Xeon processors that go in the data centers are failing too.
Oh no, that's not.
That's their bread and butter for as far as how they make money.
Dude, you can buy like my media server, like my server that does like my cloud based storage and stuff like that. It has a Xeon processor from about 10 years ago. That thing literally will probably outlive everything. The fact that Xeon processors are failing. They're not
failing to the same degree though, because they do go through a more rigorous, check than the consumer parts do.
Yeah,
but there is like an uptick on them actually failing.
But there should be anything. Xeon is supposed to be bulletproof, literally.
I know,
like almost literally.
Right.
The fact if that's failing,
like
that's
grand.
really awful.
You're paying like $40,000 for a single chip.
Multi is not wrong. I do. I like really long ones. Sometimes I whip it. Sometimes I whip it out the VIN numbers. But anyways. So.
Pat Gelsinger, the new CEO of Intel as of like 4 or 5 years ago, came back and is supposed to turn Intel around.
I love this meme.
Seemingly apropos of nothing, posted scripture, which is not something you usually expect from a CEO of a company.
Especially right when their stock went down 25%.
Yeah. When something like that happens and then the head honcho starts posting scripture, everybody's like, what's happening? It's happening. I mean, like, what did you just say? Head of the table? Should we be worried?
I mean, that probably goes against. I mean, you're not supposed to take a religious stance, being from a corporate thing like that.
I don't see why that's an issue, though.
I mean, it wouldn't be an issue to me because I agree with it. However, a lot of these corporate structured places, they do try to tell you, hey, keep all your personal business, your religious business, your feelings on genders, all that politics out of it.
Well, no, if you've got a hatchet slot, it's fine.
Maybe it shows you how desperate they are right now.
Or maybe it shows you how much they understand that there are eternal truths. So, anyways, I'll leave it there. I won't go too far. Hey, Mama Badger.
See you Sunday, Mo.
Always.
And then
oh no.
Yeah, you guys ever read the Wall Street Bets Reddit?
The fails.
Yeah, so this is where you feel better about yourself after reading some of this stuff. So let me jump ahead actually. This person's grandmother died 2 months ago and was left $800,000. Took $700,000 of it and put it all into Intel on Thursday.
He put
my God.
He put nearly $750,000 into one stock. Are you kidding me?
Exactly. You are an idiot.
One stock?
So my plan was to go into
30.
My plan going into this was to hold off for a decade, and my plan hasn't changed.
No shit. You might want to stretch. You might want to stretch that out a little bit. You might want to go maybe half a century.
Remember what ABF said? This was their stock price in 1992. So,
yep.
This guy really needs to hold on to this. Maybe
he's got another 20 years on his hands.
Grandchildren.
My parents still don't know I've lost 1/3 of my inheritance, which is sad because in this post talks about how I'm very unfortunate. My parents paid for my education, has no debt anywhere else. So this person's like, I'm gonna spend it on investing only, and my parents were like, "We're so proud of you."
Question:
YOLO's it on Intel.
He says he's a maths major. How do we think that degree is going to go?
I mean,
teacher.
He probably. I mean, you learn by failure, right?
Teacher. I'm sorry.
So useless. Yes. All right.
So the mods gave him his own title of least favorite grandchild. So whenever he posts, this pops up above his head.
And I love his profile picture.
Yeah. The come on, do something with the Intel logo. That's fucking.
He's leaning into it at this point.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah. He's
Good
got
for this
nothing else
guy.
to do. Yeah.
I mean, when you lose that much money, committing Sudoku in front of
Sudoku.
Well, I'm not going to say the word.
You got to. It's okay.
Yeah, he got the nines matched up perfectly. It's good.
He's about ready to spill out his guts. Ugh. I like how he has the top knot too. He's like,
yeah, shaved.
He really
shaved
committed
all
to
the
commitment.
corners. His own side of the top knot.
Yeah. Let's
of-
see. I don't even know what this tab is. Okay,
Since
so
it's
this,
been a
yeah,
while.
that's right. This tab was basically pointing out that AMD is having similar issues right now.
Yeah,
But
and they're saying
on
that
the-
AMD is failing at an even
Yeah.
greater rate than Intel.
people have been pointing out too, it's this chart right here that really is the meat of it. But people have been pointing out that this is like opposition research put out by Intel. We'll have to wait a little bit longer to find out about that.
I did
once
spend a
again, like
few
I said in
minutes-
the back room, until Steve from Gamers Nexus weighs in on it, I don't hold anybody any of these people's opinions as fact. Steve from Gamers Nexus, Steve Burke is the man. He is one of the best journalists in the entire world. Fight
he
me.
is the man.
Yes.
It is anecdotal though, but I personally rebuilt my PC in the last 6 months, and I had a faulty AMD processor, and so did my friend from North Dakota. He just built one last couple weeks, and he changed out every component except the CPU, and then finally changed out the CPU, and all of a sudden it was fixed. So there are bad CPUs going out there.
That's just weird to me, man. That was a steadfast component of your system. You could have a
Yeah.
sound card. You could have interrupt issues like where your video card and sound card might take up the same, memory allocate.
Well-
Like, it's just like the fact that the CPU is failing at this rate is just weird.
This is just a trend across everything right now, that during the pandemic, everybody got complacent and retarded and stayed home and did nothing but play video games. And now we're just answering to it now.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a distinct divide in companies that were either small enough that they either shuttered or extremely downsized, or were big enough that some of them spent quite a lot of money on a lot of different endeavors. And it's
Well,
coming
that's
back
because they
to
were
bite 'em.
money was cheaper than ever.
Isaac, you
Yeah,
shut the fuck
basically,
up.
yeah.
He was
Really
he was adding emojis to the announcement earlier, making it gay, and I changed it to game instead. He's probably upset about that.
Look,
I gotta say that I gotta say this regarding like AMD and Intel and everything like that. People think that Motorola just made phones. Motorola was in every single freaking computer in the 80s. Like we think of MS-DOS computers as being that. No, the Mac had a Motorola, and I know Norman Conquest will enjoy this. The Amiga, the Commodore, a lot of stuff was a Motorola. The 68,000 series. Like they had the world by the balls, both whether it was cell phones, computers, everything, and they lost it all in a blink of an eye. Like they lost it. Even their name, the only thing they had to sell was their name. So Intel knows how fast this can go south. It has been proven. Like you can just pretend like you just got the world is your oyster, but sooner or later that kind of hubris will turn around and you'll be fucked. And
Hang on,
I
let me
guarantee
address
you, a
something
lot of
real
these
quick.
CEOs are familiar with what happened to Motorola. So
yeah. And when you're a
Nagadal.
tech company and when you're at the top of the mountain, the only place
So-
to go is down. So
Nagardal claims that he banged on his desk, and now his laptop is stuck in recovery mode.
Sure.
So if your PS5 is so badass, join us on StreamYards with your PS5.
yeah,
still-
I mean it's an AMD computer.
Yeah, it has a web browser, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, do it. I dare you.
Sure.
it's got
Does
USB
everything.
ports as well.
Yeah, it
So
does
you can-
everything.
I have a distinct feeling that when the laptop was on Nagardal's desk and he slammed his fist down, that the laptop happened to be folded, and he slammed his fist down on that also. Just
was it his fist or was it a mouse? Clutched by his fist.
Or was it a DualSense controller?
That might have been a DualShock.
The whipping action from having limp wrists cannot be understated. So, I'm just saying.
I think that his fleshlight leaked out onto his keyboard.
Damn.
There goes your female contingency. But anyways, so
you slammed your laptop? Why would you do that? See, this is why he loves consoles, because he has a controller that's the extension of the thing he's using, and he can break that instead. Well, that's another point of why you should get a desktop instead of a laptop, so you can break your mouse instead of your entire computer.
Or go get like a $15 combo keyboard.
This is what we call distinction without a difference. It doesn't matter what the fuck you slammed. Your laptop is dead. It's like
First of all, okay, I love how we're trying to make like goofy scenarios on how it could have happened, maybe even like an accident. And he's like, first of all, I slammed my laptop, not my desk. Get it right. I punched it on purpose. It overcooked the roast.
He wants accurate roasting here. Yeah.
Jess,
that's a looking glass you don't want to.
Yeah,
it's not dead. It turns on. Okay, then join us on StreamYards.
Yeah, Terry Schiavo was in a bed for a number of years.
Yeah, she had a brain of a walnut.
Remember what that? Remember what happened then?
Yeah, she put out smarter tweets than most lefties. So, anyways,
damn! I'm glad Mo is with me on this thing. Knows who that is.
Yeah.
Also, I don't like Charlie Nuclear. First off, great name. Love your profile picture.
Yeah, the profile.
I don't like the fact that now that I know those little loading things are called throbbers, that you posted 3 of them. That makes me uncomfortable.
Which 2 of us are not worthy?
I know we all know.
Oh, nose goes.
Norman, did you want me to lead with the Bungie stuff, or did you want to?
I'll pull it up if you want.
All right.
Let's see here. Sharing the screen. So yes, last Wednesday, Bungie announced a round of layoffs, adding to the round of layoffs from last year. Fun times. Currently, 220 people let go from the company, roughly 17% of the workforce. On top of the layoffs, 155 people have been moved to Sony. Imagine maybe drip fed into other studios or maybe working on another one. And then 75 will be moved to an entirely new studio. Interesting thing. Decided in 2023, a rapid expansion ran headlong into a broad economic slowdown. Sharp downturn in the games industry. 2023, remember? There was just such a slow year for gaming. Baldur's Gate 3.
A lot of tech layoffs also.
A lot of tech layoffs, but a lot of successes. Our quality with Destiny 2 Lightfall and the need to give both final shape and Marathon the time needed to ensure both products deliver the quality of our players expect and deserve. We were overly ambitious and they spent too much money and we're running in the red. So basically their safety net's fallen out and they need to cut some jobs. And if you're going to cut some jobs from anywhere, from the 220 that were fired, multiple woke activists and Sweet Baby Ink defenders laid off as part of Bungie's massive downsizing. And then we come down here, we just see lots of lovely hearts. And
yeah, the colorful hearts is kind of a dead giveaway.
Yeah.
That pastel pink and blue.
Mm-hmm.
We just need to get that kid from Simpsons.
There we are.
Yeah.
Former senior
Monforton.
narrative designer at Bungie.
PhD in what?
In bullshit.
She hurt my ass.
She went to college for 7 years to do that.
Can we figure out what her degree is in? His degree is in. So pardon me. Sorry.
So she was
pardon the parlance.
Marathon.
Well, I mean, can you ever really graduate with a degree in trans studies because they're constantly changing the rules?
Go back up to her profile.
There's a 42% fail rate from what I hear.
So yeah, look at what the little hashtag around
Hazel
the profile picture says.
Hazel Monforton sounds like some kind of Welsh cussing.
Open to work.
Monforton.
Senior writer and staff writer roles. Lady, you're going to have to draw on your
Oh, okay. She's based in Austin, Texas. There's one strike. Oh, she has a doctorate in English literature.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Well, it's a narrative designer. What that sounds like to me is an in-sourced Sweet Baby Inc.
Yeah, it sounds like someone who doesn't actually write the narrative. It sounds like someone
No,
who walks into a room of writers and goes, "Okay, idea."
Yeah, they decide like the path that the game takes, essentially.
Right. I apologize if anybody has a boner right now. I'm just about ready to kill it. I'm going to share my screen, so feel free. This is from her webpage. It is her actually. It looks like a woman, so
but
not much.
Not attractive.
Well, I mean, it said she, her, so obviously, right?
Oh my!
I mean, strong jawline, but that might genuinely be a woman.
They always have the lightning rods right there.
Dude, this is one of those cases where, like, if she didn't look like a psycho, she would probably look all right.
Stuff of nightmares.
Pull this shit out of your nose and get the crazy out of your eyes.
She grew up in Austin, Texas. All right, that's all you need to know.
Born and raised. Okay. Well,
definitely of that generation as well.
I apologize to anybody with penises. It's really disgusting. So.
I was expecting to see something that looked worse than that, but
well, I mean, never mind.
I was ready for like a jump scare or something. I was like, oh yeah.
The face was the jump scare, Multi.
I didn't see any horns on her. Casey.
Well, then you know what that
Casey
means.
just straight out the gate. Spears and homosexuals.
Oh, Hayden, already finished my drink. I can't take a shot.
Yeah, so all this kind of stuff is sort of laid into question the future of Bungie and how long they are for this world. So we had one game that's been cancelled, just codenamed Payback. The only thing that we know about this specifically from Jason Schreier is that it was going to use characters from the Destiny IP and put them into a third-person game, sort of large world, while cooperating to battle monsters and solve puzzles. So since they're sort of like your Genshin Impact, your Monster Hunter Wilds, sort of that kind of frame. But yeah, that's all been cancelled now.
Sounds lame as fuck.
It sounds like other games, but there was another quote there where they said, what did it say? Shake up. It was going to shake up the formula in major ways. How?
Yeah. I guess it was just going to change up the pacing of the game, probably more narrative focused, maybe single player, I guess. But with Bungie, they're more likely to do the whole co-op, which leads me to think that they were working on some form of another hero shooter, which is what they're doing with Marathon, which just doesn't make sense.
No, it has, but that's the only thing they've really been good at.
Mm-hmm. And then, as well as canceling a completely unannounced codenamed game, they're saying that they're sort of lightening the load on Destiny 2 as well as offering these for free.
Wasn't the codename thing like a fake news thing? I thought I read that they came out and like squared that away and said that they weren't actually working
Project
on
Payback.
anything. Yeah, I think that's what it was.
No, they were definitely working on a third game.
Really?
Okay. Canceled within it was canceled maybe 2 months ago, something like that. But they have been working on it for quite a while now. And it seems like Sony's come in and said, "You're making no money, so we're gonna cut off your staff and we're gonna focus on you making Marathon, focus on giving Destiny 2 the last shake it can get, and we'll see how much money it can." But as soon as Marathon fails, which it will, because it's another probably 5 or 6 player hero shooter, the Bungie will be gone. That's it.
What's up, Static?
ABF, I think we probably read that same quote, because I think one of the main guys was saying, was like, people have had speculation that Project Payback was like a code for Destiny 3, and it's like, actually, we've never even started work on any kind of Destiny 3.
Yeah, I thought it was like the CEO or something.
It wasn't
came out, but
it was a conflated question, so they kind of put Destiny 3 into that question. They were like, "No, we're not working on Destiny 3. It's something completely new."
Right.
In a new
I was going to
universe.
say they probably put a spin on it to make it sound like nothing bad happened.
You know what makes this extra sad? These are the designers of Halo, essentially.
Yeah.
The first 3 and the best 3.
Well,
and
okay.
they have so fallen
Hayden
off the
says
pedestal
throw it
to
in the
such a
trash.
level.
I played Destiny 2 for about a year, but I played it about 2 years after launch, and the game was totally squared away and in a good, in a good place. The multiplayer was a little questionable, but as far as like PvP stuff, but I had a lot of fun with my friends playing it. And I feel
2021 was probably the best year for Destiny 2, in my opinion.
I think I played around 2020, or maybe
I thought it was.
earlier
I
than
thought
that.
it was okay. Like the problem is like.
Did you play by yourself or with friends?
No, I tried to play with friends. The problem is.
Okay, well,
they-
if you tried to play
if
with friends, that means you did not play with friends, and that's why it sucked.
No. I did play, but it's just like they shouldn't have limited the teams to like 4 people. I think that's where they really shot themselves in the foot. If they did 8,
Well,
I'm not saying they do like 30
they
or something
did.
like that, but they should have like raised the team levels.
For-
Because once you get 3 friends, like there's way more people. Like
For the
I know
dungeon
the-
raids, it was 6 to 8.
Well, you can see it starting to spiral off now if you look at this chart. I mean, this is obviously, these peaks are obviously expansions, and then you got COVID in here as well, coming into lockdown, and then it sort of dips down a bit, new expansion. But when they're dipping down, you see they're always sort of hitting that 70 to 80,000 mark.
Right.
So they have their player base, and then it dips low to 60, going as low as 46, I think that says.
Yeah, that low dip was when the
Dude,
final shape should have
by the way,
come out.
by the way, everybody, those peaks and valleys are hundreds of thousands of players. That's insane. If that was like tens of thousands, that's not a big deal.
And Hayden,
hundreds
I
of
totally
thousands,
agree with you on this. Like,
yeah,
the-
you're
I
injecting
stopped playing it-
steroids. Yeah.
I stopped playing Destiny a little bit before, but they started putting out on their website. Like you can go to bungie.com/Roe v. Wade. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
And there's an entire statement that's political. It has nothing to do with fucking video games. So.
Yeah, and just to finish off here, like to prove the point that Bungie is not long for this world. Microsoft, this is from Tom Warren over at I think it's The Verge. Microsoft was eyeing up acquiring Bungie in 2021, but flagged a high burn rate. Looks like Sony was willing to overlook the amount of cash Bungie burns through to pursue live service games. Sony has since cut back its live service ambitions. And this all comes from recently former CEO Jim Ryan. He went full steam ahead on greenlighting all these live service projects. You got your Marathon, your Concords, Helldivers, whatever else.
No,
and I think the heads at Sony, they came up to him halfway through a console generations and said, would you mind retiring, please? And now they're starting to slowly phase out all of these live service ambitions.
I know. I'm sorry, Norman. Didn't mean to interrupt.
I was just going to say, Bungie has not made up on their deal. $3.5 billion. And
I just
no
remember
profit whatsoever.
Remember when they split from Activision Blizzard, and there was that roughly 6-month period of time where they were independent before they got picked up by Sony, that there were a lot of gamers that wanted Bungie to be reacquired by Microsoft and potentially have like another Halo game come out. And it looks like Microsoft was at least for a small period of time potentially thinking about that, but upon further inspection we're like, I don't think so. Let's do somebody else. And how is this going to affect Sony's video game division, let's say? Because obviously they do other things. They make electronic devices, things like that.
Well, that's the thing, because they brought on Bungie so that they could learn from Bungie about live service mechanics and apply those to their Sony games. Right. And now Sony's having to step in and crack the whip and say, no, you're bad at your job. You people go over here. You people go over here. It's nonsense.
Yeah. How much
spent themselves into the hole?
How much do you think this is maybe spurred on by the absolute butt raping of Halo, like the TV show, which is another Bungie property?
I don't think it has
even
any
less
kind of bearing on there because
Bungie's not attached to Halo anymore.
No.
Right.
So they don't even get like credits at the beginning.
Oh,
like
I'm sure they do.
Characters from Bungie or something like that. And then,
I'm sure they do, but it like those that's two different mediums. That's two different
Also,
media.
I actually doubt that they even say anything about Bungie at the beginning of the TV show.
No.
They paid good money to break that company apart.
Right.
So they're not going to say anything about Bungie anymore.
ever since 2013, when Bungie was let go from Microsoft and 343 Industries was formed, that's it. Bungie has no right to use Master Chief, Sierra 117, Halo, any of those words, any of those likenesses for any reason. Like, can't even name them in like official Twitters or anything. Official Twitters or anything.
I thought Bungie and 343 were working in tandem. Like,
no.
I thought it was all right. My bad, then. My bad.
No, they split up in recent history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After Halo Reach in 2012, there was a little bit of like Bungie helping out what would become 343 Industries, but then when they bounced. That was it.
And that's the whole thing about video games. Like, people talk about video games and video game developers and things like that, like they are like a television show or a streamer. No, it's like a restaurant more than anything. Yeah. You want to come to a developer to get what you love, what you enjoy, what you want to do, what you want when you want to escape the world. You want to get lost in a really good, even McDonald's. It's shit, but it's the most dependable shit on the planet, or it used to be.
Fortnite.
It's just like it's almost like food services more than anything else in video games. You want to know when there is a developer that I can depend on them to satiate my need. It's not like, because it's more of like it's you're ingesting this all the time, whether it's a game or something like that. If that dependability goes away, you're not going to go there anymore. Much like a restaurant, like if they have varying levels of quality, you're just going to quit going there. And that's the thing. Like, that's what they don't understand. They think that they are beholden to this audience is always going to be there for them. Like, this audience is beholden to whatever Bungie puts out, or 343 or Activision, and it's just not the case. People can find joy in many different, especially nowadays where people have access to Unity or more like like indie, like 2D, like having a pixel-based game isn't like it was in the 90s where it was like, oh, well, if it's not 3D, it's shit. No, people don't care. As long as they have fun and they have something to do, then they will have fun. And that's what all of these companies don't understand. They're so far up their own ass, they don't understand that's not how it works. And that's never how
they fall into the script of they can put out anything you want, serve you any shitty Big Mac. And now the money above McDonald's is starting to finally crack the whip, and we're seeing all these layoffs and rearrangements of studios and games being cancelled left and right.
And I would like to think that the first things to go are the things that don't produce, and that would be the DEI departments.
Well, we saw that there with Bungie. It seems like they've just cut off the limb. Anyone that had talent has been absorbed by PlayStation or moved on to a new project. And I imagine when it comes to the completely new studio, Sony's probably gone to the more executives that are still at Bungie and gone, okay, do you want to hop off and do your own thing with all your friends and make something new? And then you've got all these intermediary people, the 155, they'll be merged into Sony to do just whatever they want.
Yeah, and that's like every company on the face of the earth right now. They're making it too hard. They're making it too complex. It's literally put out a good product and keep putting out a good product.
Yep.
Keep your ranks stocked with people that are good at their job. If you start hiring people like Doorbell Nose McGillicuddy, like I showed earlier, I'm sorry, like Door Knocker Head, it's just like it's not that hard. Just give them what they want, even if it's not a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. At least try to put your best foot forward, which is what Helldivers 2 Studio did at Arrowhead before they decided they weren't going to have community managers that gave a shit about the community. And that's why they failed. They were going to fail at some point, but like it's literally, it's not that hard. Just try your best. Worry about keeping the customer happy, and everything else falls into place.
Well, you know how you keep the customer happy? You make a forever mouse that you pay monthly to keep running.
Welcome to the future, folks.
That was the worst segue of all time, and I'm here for it. I love it.
I thought it was pretty.
It was awful, but great all at the same time.
So the new CEO of Logitech, I'm not sure how long she's been there for, but she's got big ideas, and one of them
That's your
is
problem.
she wants a mouse that has every feature known to man included on it. And I believe it was speculated to be like a $200 mouse. And in order to unlock all the features on it, you pay a $20 a month subscription fee to unlock the hardware which you already have in your hand. What do you guys
Because
think
of
about
course.
that?
$20. First off, the idea just generally, no.
But it's good for the
Secondly,
environment, Jake.
Shut up.
Fuck the environment.
If we're going to, let's just take it as a given that hardware would be sold with subscriptions to access the hardware. $20 a month is a ridiculous amount of money.
It is.
Like $5 a month is a ridiculous amount of money. You know, it shouldn't be any amount of money, but if we're accepting it as, let's just say we live in a reality where that is the case, anything more than like $2 a month would be unacceptable.
Yeah, it does seem like this is a new CEO trying to sort of not spread their wings, but put their mark on the place, you know, because I'm just looking at it as like it's Henrik Faber, her name is, you know, she's been at some of the biggest companies in the world.
Some of the very well-established ESG companies.
Biggest conglomerates you can think of. So this is just another notch for her. This is not anything crazy. She'll be away in the next 2 to 3 years doing something else.
Yeah,
she's been promoted for.
Speaking of cars, Nerdy Neo, BMW tried this by installing heated seats in every vehicle, and you unlock it through subscription. They abandoned that because there was so much consumer backlash, and that's what I think needs to happen here.
Oh yeah.
How much can it? I mean, how many features can it actually have that need to be? I mean, obviously you're going to have biometrics somewhere in there. Will it be its own Wi-Fi hotspot at some point? Like, what all can they actually have that this mouse alone can do?
The joke is that with all these peripherals that you buy, especially like Razer and Logitech is guilty of it too, their software fucking sucks.
It does.
Like it crashes half the time and takes your computer with it. And I think what they're trying to say here is that they're going to make a software that runs on your mouse that doesn't crash. That's kind of what I'm gathering, but I don't believe them either.
Yeah, it's kind of like, to put it in gaming speak, it's kind of like Ubisoft putting in an XP boost into an Assassin's Creed game. They're not giving you that XP boost. They've set a number and then they've decreased the number of how much XP you can get, and then the XP puts you back up to the normal level, essentially. So they're making the problem and selling you the solution. That's it.
And this
Does it count your steps if you go power walking with it?
I wonder.
I like the original spelling of Hayden's post there, where it's unless I spend fucking a month. Like it looks like he's cursing. You thought pull that one up again. Like I think that was a Freudian slip. Yes, unless I spend. Yeah.
That's $40.
I think he's saying unless I spend money a month.
He's like, "Fuck you! I'm holding that shift key."
Well,
you guys got to figure out how much it is. Yeah.
$30, I think.
Yes, $30.
Yeah, $30.
That's
what he
ridiculous.
meant
Pound
to say.
close parentheses. That is ridiculous.
Yep.
You know what I want?
Also,
I want to get an
Toyota gives
International
Hilux.
Scout. By the way, one of the
shout
sexiest
out.
SUVs that has ever existed.
Scout, let's go.
International Scout is one of the most beautiful cars ever made. If I may.
Oh yeah. We need this. Be able to Bluetooth your mouse to your fridge. That's a good idea.
I mean, there are the fridges that for a number of years now have had basically LED screens on them that act as TVs. Why not have a web browser on there with a Bluetooth mouse? I'm sure that's a thing that already exists. You can sit there at your island in your kitchen eating your breakfast, and you have your Bluetooth mouse and you're scrolling through the news or whatever.
Okay, so I need to pose this to the rest of the panel. As a nerd, part of the fun is disconnecting every so often, like not having cell service, like getting into the wilderness, like you don't want to be like completely plugged into the Matrix. That's something that the Matrix movie got absolutely correct. You don't want to be, you want to be amongst your people. You want to have like, you know, you don't want to be in front of a computer all the time. Am I the only person that's like that? Like you
No.
want to like you literally want to touch grass.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why,
I wasn't
that's
gonna
why
say
I love
touch
camping.
grass is like that's one of the gayest things that I've heard. That people just don't even know what it means really when they say it. But you are correct, Mo.
Well,
Yeah,
people don't
you're
understand
absolutely
what grounding is. Like literally touching grass with your
Right.
bare feet is a great thing to do for your health.
It,
Like, they
it
just
feels
don't get
good
that.
too.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
how you
yeah,
get
it feels great.
hookworms. Hell
It's
yeah.
one of the reasons I love camping. Next week, I'm going to be on vacation with my fiance Anna. I love you.
Nice.
And I was going to bring my laptop just to watch stuff on or what have you, or play a game together or something. And when I said that, she's like, "Do you have Discord on your laptop?" I was like, "Oh, why?" She's like, "So I can talk to your friends while we're together." I'm like,
Oh.
I talk to these chuckle fucks every day. I want this vacation to be like, I want to do this.
Did you
And,
tell
like,
her to
make
check out your
meals
hot
together.
water heater afterwards?
Fuck you, Mo. Come on.
No, literally, when we go camping or we do anything like that, I choose places that have absolutely no cell phone service, and I just download a bunch of albums through Spotify, so I don't need to be connected to the internet.
Yep.
And we just go off somewhere. It's like, no, if I mean, there could be a serial murderer out here, but we're also armed, so it'll just be us against them, and like we're completely unplugged. Time to go back to basics.
Yeah. And by the way, life hack for everybody: your phone will always connect to 911 service unless you're literally on the fucking moon. Like,
That's right.
if you really need it and you're in really big trouble, like a bear is having its way with you, you'll still be able to dial 911.
They're powerful.
You'll get emergency, like it doesn't matter if it's T-Mobile, Verizon, doesn't matter. It'll always connect. So it's like emergencies, you're good. But
I heard that bears aren't even all that dangerous compared to men.
yeah, well, I heard that. Yeah. Oh, look at that beauty! Gosh
Look
darn
at
it!
Look at that scout, huh?
I swear, this is one of my life goals. I want to get an international scout. It's beautiful. So beautiful. It's the best. Even my small hands could drive the spirit. No, I was kidding. I love international scouts. They're gorgeous.
It's a better Bronco, in my opinion.
It's the original Bronco. It came out like way in the early 70s, like late 60s, I think. It was the first SUV. So
better than the 4Runner. I'll say.
Why not both?
I don't know if the 4Runner was even around yet.
Well, I'm just speaking in generalities.
Yeah. Well, the FJ Cruiser was for Toyota.
Yeah,
it was pretty early
there you
on.
go.
Yeah.
Well, I'm guessing this thing has a solid front axle.
It's so beautiful though. The thing is like almost 60 years old, and it just looks
leaf
like
spring suspension.
It's
got leaves in the front, so that's definitely.
It's like it would survive the apocalypse. One of those kind of cars.
Yep. And no ECU. Yes.
Yep.
That's what matters. Who made this one?
Oh shit! How did that get on the screen? I'm sorry.
Can we get some credit?
I wonder who made that.
Yeah, I wonder. The man that you called him a bundle of sticks in the back end, and then now it's like, oh, the enemy of the enemy is my friend. You're a piece of shit. So.
Don't reveal what we talked about in the back room.
I will.
I genuinely think we need to address this seriously. So yes, we should. Because this matters. This genuinely matters. I personally, I think Isaac's stake in the GCA as one of the original 199, and frankly, as part of the fellowship as a whole, is
at stake
on display here. It's at stake.
I like your parlance there. That's very good. Okay, seriously.
All right, I want everyone to just take a deep breath and take this in.
Here's the original post right here. So, what Isaac is trying to say here is that the more rare the steak is, the more pro gun grabber you are.
We have some women who cook in the chat tonight, so I want to hear opinions.
So when I first saw this, I thought "well done." It was like, okay, all gun laws are infringements. Well done, and you get a round of applause because that's the right answer. And then he did the follow-up one, and I was like, oh,
You thought
He's
so
like
out.
this.
You thought so far outside the box, you found yourself in a different box.
Is it an accusation if it's a fact? Do you have to accuse
Ooh.
somebody if it's like immediately apparent that they're as gay as a seatless unicycle? Recharge chamber,
So-
get back.
There's too much backfire.
That was my response to it, and then I haven't replied since.
Just online on a YouTube show. Which how many viewers do you have? Somebody said like 30. You still going there? Are you still there? Or...
Looks like we got like 23.
Oh, awesome.
23.
Nice.
Bro, get above 15. Like, I don't think like I used to be like, there's only 100 people watching this channel. Holy shit! If I had 100 people, I would be like humna. You know, like you don't realize it till you get in the game. So
Yeah, Isaac, you know you're wrong when even Nagano doesn't like overcooked steak. Come on, man.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, Isaac, I think
And he's got some real shit takes too.
Yeah,
he does.
Ooh, Nerd Wars.
Of course,
Yes,
I like
sir.
my own posts. I posted
Yeah,
it, therefore
why
I
not?
like it. Why wouldn't I? If I didn't like it, I wouldn't have posted it.
That's
Right?
20% more likes.
Exactly. No, you can't see likes anymore. I made a whole post about how everybody should be liking
understood
their
that
own
reference,
their own
Jake.
tweets because you can't tell anymore.
just want to tag on to Nerd Wars. Obviously, I voted for Braveheart, by the way.
Oh, I can't.
Duke
wait to
of
hear
New
the review.
York, a number one. I love that movie.
But
Skip from
Erwin, how do you like your steak? Uzi? Oh, dude, you got to have in the what was it? The 80s that movie came out.
81.
Mhm.
It was earlier.
Yeah.
Earlier,
Oh, dude, that
yeah.
was the coolest thing. You have to watch Tango and Cash next if you like the scopes on SMGs. Look,
Oh, dude.
yeah,
Especially
I know that
in the
was
80s, having them
Yeah.
on Uzis or Mac 10s. Oh, man.
Yeah, young Terry Hatcher, by the way.
Mhm.
By the way, yes.
Ooh, Braveheart. I approve of that one definitely.
Nice.
Longshanks
Are-
is based.
Erwin transitioned. He answered your question.
Exactly.
Thank you, Casey.
Yeah.
Thank you, Casey.
Leather.
See, there's your problem, Isaac. You look at
See?
that beautiful woman right there, and it's like she's not going to smile if you give her some shoe leather. All right, that's
No.
fucking gross.
She's
Yeah,
gonna
see,
walk
Nerd
out.
Wars-
medium rare.
This is a very good post right here. Why? Because Nerd Wars developed his taste buds over time. It was an acquired taste to go more rare, just like Isaac, who's been eating spaghetti his entire life.
It's
know?
called being a child and becoming a man.
Yep,
You go
medium
from
rare
having
is my
well
favorite.
done steaks with A1 to having a medium rare steak and enjoying the flavors of the steak.
Exactly.
Of the
Sauce to blood. It's a natural progression.
You can
Well,
get
yeah,
a great
but if it's
Sierra
well done,
steak
that's
with the
real
red
easy.
side,
Yeah.
Isaac.
That's all.
Isaac, here's
That's
how
all
I
that should
cook
be
a
on a
steak.
steak. Yeah, go ahead.
Here's how I cook a steak. I basically do what do they call that? A Cleveland steam. Not a, no.
Don't say
What?
No, the no,
I'm not eating
Pittsburgh
that
style.
steak.
No, Pittsburgh style.
No, that's where
you
it's like char, not
Yeah, no,
it's
you-
charred
you-
but not burnt. Yeah.
Let me finish. You char both sides and then you put it in the oven for about
Yeah.
depending on the thickness, like 6 to 10
Yes.
minutes.
Yeah,
Pittsburgh
it's
style is
usually
amazing.
3 minutes either side, then again 5-10.
Pittsburgh
filet
style,
mignon,
or
it's
just,
amazing.
Just kitchen
Yes.
style, really. If you're in a professional kitchen, that's how you're making a steak.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Pittsburgh
It
style
is
is
the
amazing.
way,
Yeah.
in
Yep.
my opinion.
Because also in
Culture.
professional kitchens, you're not waiting for a steak to rest. You're just taking it out of the freezer and
Mhm.
banging it on the pan and then in the oven.
Isaac,
You've got-
you like I was saying before, bundle of sticks.
Look, there are two things that are sacred to a man in the United States. That's firearms rights and steak that is cooked
Red meat.
well, not well done, cooked well as in it's good.
Like, and to
Red,
be honest,
red meat should be red.
let's be
Well
serious.
done equals dead. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you're just cooking it to death.
You're cooking all the nutrients out of it too. Like literally, you're cooking it to your own death. If you think
I-
about it.
Nerd
Slab,
Wars.
That's it.
Have you tried that new flavor called what is it? S'mores?
Is that a joke? Is there? A
I'm not
s'mores
kidding.
ramen?
There's a s'more flavored ramen noodle out there.
That sounds
What
horrific.
the fuck?
Yeah.
Dude,
Vagabundo
ramen,
is
like actual
gonna do a review
ramen
on
is
it.
amazing. Actual ramen is top tier amazing.
Oh shit! Maybe Isaac is a Brit. Brits don't like guns.
Excuse
well,
me.
he's from New,
Wait, no,
he's
I've
from
talked
New
to him
England.
before. He doesn't have an accent.
Honestly.
Well,
Look at him just swinging at the wind.
I laughed at that though.
Isaac, you're firing so much you're hoping we catch strays, but you couldn't hit the broadside of a barn from the inside. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I have to say this. Not one steak in this stack looks good because there's no sear. There's no
Right.
But like it's shit. It looks like they
They
made
look
an
like
air
old.
fryer like a
those,
retard.
Those were put in a broiler. That's
yeah,
all.
those are not good. Like
I
it
would
needs to
still
have
go
crispy
medium
outside.
rare out of those steaks, but they're not good steaks.
Salt, pepper, garlic powder, and mustard powder. By the way, secret sauce. You need to have mustard powder on your steak. It's so good.
Just a little bit. It goes in
Phantom,
everything.
Phantom.
Mac and cheese as well. Mac and cheese. Mustard powder will bring home mac and cheese.
Mustard powder is based. It is super underutilized. So yeah,
Oh, wow.
into the ocean and drowned it. By the way, he's leaving that part out.
Yeah, there's definitely people who stepped off the Mayflower before it got to Plymouth
And his
Rock.
asshole filled with salt water because he was gay as fuck.
Cooking longer brings
So-
out flavor. What do you? What?
To a point.
Have you ever cooked anything before?
It's called overcooking, guys.
What? Isaac,
Destroyed Malty.
What do you?
We lost Malty.
Oh. No,
All
you
right,
put
look.
some Montreal steak seasening on there.
I was gonna say, why don't you just put some fucking like cotton candy on that? That's gay. You don't need that much shit. No offense, sir. Yeah, I like my steak big and thick. All right, give me a fucking break.
Like my women.
That's not gonna
Yeah.
get clipped.
Not at all.
It doesn't matter. Like with AI and shitty memers in our chat, it doesn't matter. I'm fucked.
Yeah, so
I might
you
as
can
well
just be
have-
yourself.
I'll just be myself.
Yeah. Just be yourself. All right.
Wait, Corn Boy puts Old Bay on steak. Can we kick that man? Like seriously, that's fucking gross.
What is Old Bay?
Old Bay. If you've never had a shrimp boil or
Oh, that stuff?
like crawfish,
Or
yeah, like
crabs.
this.
Mm,
It's amazing,
don't
but
see
not
it.
on a steak. That's disgusting.
He also said good to add to your blend. I mean, you could be talking about adding Old Bay to your blackening spice, and a blackened steak is fucking delicious.
Fucking these swamp creatures, gross. Anyways,
Oh my gosh, like the best food in the whole fucking world. Where you're from, like Carolinas? What are y'all known for? Your moonshine.
I'm from the Midwest, man, and we had to hunt
Moonshine.
and kill our food. All right.
Dirty Dio, this is like a typical conversation over on the GCA.
True.
No, it's literally like by the end of the night, especially if we've been drinking, they're just like, "Man, fuck you!" And then the next day, you're like, "Good morning, everybody."
You're cool. What a beautiful morning, and I like you.
It gets
That was
hot.
so much fun last night.
Yeah, it's like we
Hey, everyone.
because we blacked out all the fights.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
I forgot about that.
I'm so glad Neo's having a great time in the GCA. I knew he'd fit right in. If you guys don't know, Neo was the guy who first brought me on my first ever live show. I did a talk with him.
Damn
And,
it.
Oh, yeah.
You're the
I
one to
invited him
blame.
The GCA and
The fucking
He
hot
fits right-
water
he
heater
fits right in.
McGillicuddy. Yes. No, he's good. Nerdy Neo is fun, man. He's
Good.
Did a stream with him on, I think, on Legion of Memers.
There's a troll named Isaac. Phantom, can we get rid of this troll named Isaac? A lady has requested.
You misspelled your, by the way, Isaac. You dipshit.
Ooh,
That is true. There's an
That's
apostrophe in
ban-worthy
there.
right now.
Yeah.
There's apostrophe and an extra E and a bunch of other stuff.
You know he's going to take that personally. You know it.
Hold on. Does
like
that even
like it's
show
gonna
up
stop
on
him
the
from
other-
memeing. Like he's literally left it with like no other option. Like either I attack him and have fun, or I don't attack him and he still memes on me the same way. So
You know, and I thought Phantom made deep fried memes, but the moment you attack Isaac on literally anything, he goes full force, and there's like 30 in there the next time you check. Dude,
Yep.
well.
He's
Yes.
an elf with his
Oh my god.
That is wow, boy. That is the truth. That is
If I
summed it up. Yeah.
if I were to ever get a tattoo across my forehead, it would be some variation of that.
right under.
Yeah, no, it would just be the stake chart, and it starts off with the American flag and ends up with the Russian. You know.
Yeah, and then by the wrist, it's British where it's boiled, because apparently you guys love to do that shit.
I wouldn't say that. Come over here and have some rare pigeon, and then say that.
I would love to have some pheasant.
Something tells me I'd have a much easier time getting some chicken shawarma than some pigeon.
In the cities, yes.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, Mo.
Yeah, I will.
Okay,
first of all, Nerdy Neo, I didn't want to say it in the chat, but I'll out you right now. This guy reaches out to me every time I do like a weekend with my family. Like I'm gonna stream with him this weekend. Every time he says, "Hey, you want to do something?" I'm like, "I'm good." And it's like I've done it 3 times the entire summer over the last 4 months. And he just went like, "Yeah, you want to?" I'm like, "How?" Like he must have a webcam on me or something. I'm like, "How does the fuck does he know that I am going out of town this weekend?" But I'm gonna do something with him because he was really fun to hang out with, and I feel bad, but I'm gonna do an hour with him. It's gonna be really fun. Nerdy Neo is
nice,
awesome.
Dude, Neo
please
is
sub,
great.
please sub to his channel, dude. It was so
Please
much
do.
fun when I streamed.
It is
with him.
great.
Oh my
He's
gosh.
awesome.
Yeah.
Even though
Neo's
he
stuff
got
rocks.
Big Dog Jake a taste on streaming, which is should be admonished and shamed, and you should be like the hot water heater. Rare pigeon
Actually,
sounds like you'd be shitting your guts out a week after. Yeah, I agree.
I just saw that.
Not gonna lie, can you dig up his link and throw it in chat?
City
Please,
pigeon,
yeah. No, I'm looking forward to it, man. But seriously, he's reached out to me 3 times this summer. Every time, it's the only time I've been out of town. Every time I go out of town, he just knows, and I'm like, it's like it's like a hot.
Comment.
What does he say?
No. You should. Oh.
Oh man. Yeah.
You must have been a waiter in a former life, because how's your dinner? Good. Like when everybody's eating, like you have that kind of like vibe. But I'm gonna be on there. It's gonna be fun. We'll do an hour long thing. I think he was my first Legion of Memer stream. He was really fun, dude. He's a great person.
And Neo admonished me at the beginning of the stream because apparently I missed a DM from him, which I'm going to check after the stream. I really hope it's for the same show you're going to be on, Mo.
It'll be this weekend.
I really hope so. If it's going to be this weekend, then I'll see. Also, what did Isaac say? I only have good takes. I'm the Socrates of our time. Socrates sucks. Bring up Plato, please.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's the real father of philosophy.
Thank you. Socrates was just a guy who would come up to you and be like, hey, does a horse have 4 legs? It's like, yeah. Well, an elephant has 4 legs. Does that mean an elephant's a horse? It's like, no, man. It's a different creature. But it has 4 legs.
All right, Socrates,
all right, Socrates,
Piker. Yeah.
Just calm down. Calm down. Meanwhile, Plato's like, all right, Socrates, just...
Norman, did we have anything other than the Game Informer news to cover?
Not really. I just sort of had something for my outro, but it's like 30 seconds long.
Okay. I just wanted to share this really quick. It's not, a whole lot of news there other than it's shutting down. It's kind of sad. 33 years.
Yeah.
Tip your hats.
Did they ever go
didn't
woke,
ever
or did they
have
hold the line?
I don't think so. I think that the industry just straight up shifted to various websites and absolutely YouTubers.
I think we found out a lot of this has to do with GameStop, and that's why I was like, man, I should ask Cam a lot about this.
I was just gonna say, I stopped caring about Game Informer when GameStop acquired them.
Oh, long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that was a time ago.
I mean,
I never
haven't
used
even
Game Informer for my news.
Well, the problem with reaching out to Camelot
totally
is he might have propositioned you to do something untoward.
I haven't even thought about Game Informer, to be honest, and until like years ago when I was a kid.
I just remember
whatever.
Is they tried a YouTube channel and it just crashed and burned.
Oh no!
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Look at Hayden 75 burning a OG like a philosopher. Socrates
Ooh.
was like, "Oh,
Oh my god.
Good
I
lord.
Whoa.
I wouldn't
That's
wish
way
that on a
worse than me.
broke dick dog, man. That's
That is a
awful.
mean cocktail.
That is really that's awful. That you should that's like literally like the Terminator into the world scenario. Like you don't drop that burn unless somebody absolutely deserves it.
And can I just say though, a few thousand years of human evolution, and Erwin wins with that comment. Yeah.
Yes, he does. Glad he chose Plato.
I do want to say, like, one thing that was I always thought was awesome about Game Informer was the freaking covers, because a lot of them were,
dude.
They are
a
pretty
lot
good.
of them were like independent artists and other kind of things. It wasn't like from the game. It wasn't from the graphic designers of the game.
Yeah, it's kind of like with Marvel movies. Usually, the Dolby posters are 1,000 times better than the commercial head splash poster. You know.
Mm-hmm. And apparently they were what did they say? They were about 70% through the next issue, and they just got called in onto a meeting and just be like, "Yep, you're all fired."
Yeah, they didn't know.
With no reason either, and they wiped the online site, so all the work they had done, they can't.
Oh, wow.
Even the workers, the people who posted it, they didn't even have time to like download backups of the work they've done. It's all gone.
Yep, social media presence is gone as well. I checked Twitter today, and the only Game Informer account I could find wasn't active for about 10 or 12 years.
Well, I hope they reform. I hope they figure out a niche where they can,
No, I don't think this one's coming back.
No.
It's just going to get
not Game
they're-
Informer, but the creators. It might be under a whole new name. Yeah, I hope because a lot of old PC Gamer was the GOAT. PC Gamer and the PlayStation magazine where you get the demo disc, like in the 90s and early 2000s, it was amazing. Like they were absolutely for the community, and then they got infiltrated by the lefty stupid idiots, and I'm hoping the people that want to do a good job come surface back up, even if it's only a niche and they just make enough money to survive. That's all I want. I just want them to do what they love, because that's the thing with creative pursuits. I want that. If they have to work for money and they're not just getting paid hundreds of $1,000s, you get much better work. And I just want if the people that were there the entire time resurface and they make a great publication, I'm all here for it. So
yeah, Nerd Wars.
Hell
This
yeah,
was around
Nerd
the
Wars,
time
yeah.
that I actually cared about Game Informer. It hasn't really been relevant to me since then. I mean, maybe PS2 times also, but
here's how you know is if you're of a certain age, nobody actually owned the full game of Parappa the Rapper. They all played the demo. Kick, punch. I used to know the entire rap from the Onion guy, but that demo was like so popular. It was, oh man, I miss.
PC
I miss all
Gamer
that.
was awesome.
PC Gamer was great. I still have the demo discs. They're amazing. So good. Command and Conquer, I just played 2 levels all the time. So good.
Well, that's all we got. Should we roll on to outros?
Let's wrap it up.
All right, Big Dog Jake, what do you got going on this week?
Well, sir, on Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, myself, Phantom X, and MMA Crease do a podcast for the homies. We will be on episode 4, I believe, discounting episode 0. And next week, I believe I will be able to make Off Hip on Monday, but the latter half of next week and the week after, I will be off for vacation. So if I'm not around, that's why. Otherwise, you can follow me here, Twitter /X, Instagram. Shoot me a DM on Discord if you want to talk about music, video games, politics, things like that. I'm all ears. ABF, thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate being here.
Yeah, it's nice to have you back again.
Thank you.
Multi, besides going to bed right after this, what are you up to?
BPT and LGBT on Wednesday evenings. Also, there's a video that I've been working. That's Black Person Time and gay. By the way.
Just put those together.
Like Legos.
Yeah. It translates to latent gay. Anyway,
Late gay black time.
there's also a video I'm working on and a series that we're trying to start up, but it's a lot of research what we're starting, so it might take us a little bit longer, and we'll do smaller stuff in there. We're trying to keep the videos pumping out. Let's keep our channel alive.
And
Yeah,
we
Naganal
are.
wants to know if that's LGBT.
Multi said it. Late and gay black time.
I know.
Yeah. Black person time and LGBT and gay. Late and gay.
Speaking of LGBT, Mo. Uh-oh.
I don't have a doll. Yeah, it's actually pretty funny. I kind of enjoy it. It's pretty funny in the Discord. But by the way, join the GCA Discord. You literally don't know. We're the most fun corner of the internet. There's a lot of channels that we love to follow, but their Discord is yes.
Oh.
He looks so big with his...
I can't.
I mean, yeah.
I love how I can't tell if my hands are backwards or not.
Leave it like that while he's doing the outro.
It looks like you just did a clap and then you're putting it up like that.
No, but we have Leighton Gay with the GCA coming up on Wednesday, and I'm doing a stream with Nerdy Neo on Saturday. I will be there for about an hour. It'll be 1 p.m. I think. We're trying to figure it out. Hey, whatever. If I'm on the same level as Donald J. Trump, then we're good. I'm the best. I have the smallest hands but the biggest brain. So let's go. It is pretty funny. I like it.
Okay.
Anyways,
Let's stop
thank you
sharing
for
that so
watching.
Norman can do his outro.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
fuck him. He's been up for it's like 4:00 in the morning. He can wait. Anyways,
Oh, yeah. I can wait.
ABF off the hip. It's always fun. Thank you for having me on here. Don't take it for granted. It's so fun to nerd out, especially talking about like the stock market and all that stuff. It's awesome. Just nerding out. It's so many different levels, and you just give us a platform to do that. So thank you very much, sir.
Yeah,
the
if
Norman
it crosses
Conquest.
If it
Wrong
crosses
way.
over into gaming, then it's a free game.
Yep. So yeah, just a quick little update. We have Gamescom 2024 happening in Germany this month, August 20th to the 25th, I think. And Nintendo and Sony has confirmed that they won't be in attendance. So this is going to be a big Xbox event. You can imagine they're going to bring the big guns. Expecting to see Indiana Jones, new Starfield expansion, Monster Hunter Wilds, Avowed, lots of games. 100 people are going to have their hands on Star Wars Outlaws, and we're going to see some new gameplay for Assassin's Creed Shadows as well. So lots to cover coming up this month, and we'll be covering it right here, hopefully live on this channel. And as for myself, you can follow me at kick.com, the Norman Conquest, where I'll be streaming video games, hopefully jumping back into Red Dead Redemption 1 this week, grinding through some of that.
Nice.
Awesome.
I was going to say the Gamescom thing, it looks kind of interesting. It's already sold out, but apparently you could sign up to bring your own PC and just LAN party the entire time.
Yep.
That sounds kind of fun.
I miss
So
LAN
it's
parties.
looking to be that the opening night will be on the 20th. They'll probably do the big presentation then. They'll show off Indiana Jones because they won't be playable, just be gaming presentations. Indiana Jones, Avowed, and then the new Starfield expansion, Monster Hunter Wilds, and a few others.
And
I'm slightly hopeful for that because it doesn't look like they're doing the girl boss thing so heavy.
Yeah. And Norman and I were talking about possibly live streaming and covering it.
Yep, just do a live reaction, and we'll
Yeah.
see what they have to offer.
We'll update you guys on that.
All right.
But yeah, does Isaac have any more news? Oh, Sophie has one.
Sophie has one. Yeah,
Yeah, should we share that?
I'm okay with it.
Hold on, let me make it nice and big.
Oh, please do.
That's what Mo said.
Mo said?
He made that little pose, and now it's turning into all kinds of memes.
It's only been a few minutes. Wow.
No, he made that pose. What was it on Ballbusters?
I meant the ears.
No, it was on. Where was it? I think it was.
Oh, it was on the Saturday Legion of Memers stream.
That's what it was. Yeah. Yep.
They all
Which was
joined into
great,
one
by the
stream.
way. Andy from Oompaville was
Oompa's
so much good advice. If you're getting into editing, whether you know a lot about it or know nothing about it, watch it. I'm not trying to plug that because it's not that big of a deal, but it's so much good advice from that man. He's just one of the best. He's awesome.
And his work is great because if you ever watch any of Bill's videos, his retention beats are amazing. They're amazing.
Yeah, tons of great advice. Like he was really awesome. He just offered everything up, and that's when you know they're a real one. Because a lot of people are afraid to lose their place in the whole world of internet cloud. And Andy from Oompaville just doesn't. He just wants to share all of his knowledge. He's awesome. So, can't praise him enough.
All right, everybody, wave goodbye.
Bye.
Rock on, guys. Take care.